my channel. It is smokedalive, and today we have an exciting video today, and we're going to be doing a tutorial on this look along with a review on the BELLEJORDEN Obsession palette. Okay, so if you guys do not know who BELLEJORDEN is, you are sleeping under a rock and you are missing out. So when she came out with a palette, I was like, yes, I need it. And then when I figured out the price, I was like, oh, yes. Maybe 15, I think 15, somewhere around there. This is the packaging of the palette. Y'all know tattoo fonts are my jam. So the box, A+. Enough rambling, let's open the palette up. Can you even? This is literally like the perfect everyday go-to travel palette. Now some of you are thinking like everyday. Yes, this is everyday for me. Now you will see my first impressions as I use the palette throughout the tutorial, but I will tell you right now, I love it. The formula reminds me a lot of the Morphe formula. I am not going to be swatching this palette today, but if you would like swatches, let me know and I can do that on my Instagram. Let's move on, or this is gonna be like a 30-minute video, but this is awesome possum. Now, she did come out with 2 liquid lipsticks and a gloss. I did put one of the liquid lipsticks on later in the video and also the gloss so you guys can see it. This is a very peachy toned liquid lip. It's a lot more peachy tone than I like. It's in the shade Ever After. This is the other shade, and this is in Wishes. And then the lip gloss is in Ditzy, which is a insane peachy lip gloss. I do not like it on its own, but I do really like it over the liquid lipstick, and that is it right there. So I'm pretty sure these were like $8 or $10, which is such a good deal for these. Not that Bella's gonna see this, but if you do, hey girl, your makeup. Go ahead and check her channel out, and if you would like to see how I got this tutorial, then just keep watching. We're gonna go ahead and use this shade So Cute. Going in with the Morphe M514 brush, we're just gonna start putting this in the crease. The pigment is great. This is actually reminding me a lot of the Morphe formula. Now we are going to drag this out because that is something that Belle does, and so this is going to be very Belle inspired. So far there is 0 fallout, and on the pan there's hardly any kickback. Next I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and it is the shade 13. I'm just going to start placing this in the lower part of my crease, blending it into So Cute. Taking So Cute again, we're just blending those together. I will say there is a tiny bit of patchiness within the color 13, which makes sense because purples are hard to do. It's super dark, and for how cheap the shadows are, it's not necessarily negative, it's just not as easy to work with as So Cute. Oh my gosh, this is so cute! And this shade does have the same amount of kickback as the other one does. It's barely any. Something Belle always does is cut the crease to about right here, which I have been doing recently in my tutorials. So we're going to go ahead and do that again. Next, we're going to go in with the shade Miami. First impression, that packs on just fine. I'm using a synthetic Sedona lace brush. This is the N51. And I'm just going to start packing that on to the concealer. I always feel like shadows like this go on better with your finger, so I'm just going to go and pack that on with my finger. You can already see how much more intense it is right there. Next, we're going to go in with the shade Magic. You guys know red shimmers are my favorite, so I've tried a lot of them, so this will be a true test if this is a good red shimmer. So far, I'm not really liking it with the brush. Let me try it with my finger. I feel like it's kind of fading into the other shadows, but that can happen. So with shimmer shadows, if you already have like a matte underneath, which you can see here, it'll kind of just fade away versus just doing it by itself over like just the primer or concealer or something. So not preferred. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the shade 13 and deepen up this outer corner. Belle always has a very deep outer corner. And we're gonna pull this out a little bit into that wing shape. Very lightly though. Now we're going to go in with the shade Lola. I feel sad for her when I think about the Lola shade. I'm like, oh. But we're going in with the M507, and we're just going to deepen that up a tiny bit even further out. I'm using like the tiniest bit of black, and you guys can see it. It's pretty pigmented. Okay, you cannot do a BELLEJORDEN look without glitter. I have a NYX one and the eye candy one. I think I'm going to use the eye candy one. I'm going to take the tiniest bit of glitter glue, and I'm going to place this like right down here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up the fallout underneath my eyes from the glitter. There is zero fallout under my eyes from the shadows though, and I will be right back. I am not very happy. My camera gave me no warning of dying, and it just died, and usually when that happens it will save my file, but it saved nothing. So I did go ahead and do my foundation. I used the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and then I used the NYX Total Control Foundation and the Tarte Shape Tape Fair Beige Concealer, and that is where I left off when my camera died. And then I did also tell you guys that I applied some eyeliner at the bottom, on my lash line. So go ahead and do your foundation and then continue with this video. You can pause me and I'll be back when you push play, when you're ready for powder. So next I'm setting my concealer with the Kat Von D Lock-It powder and the Sedona Lace brush. I'm not baking, I'm just setting this on. Oh my gosh, I have powder everywhere. It's like it's snowing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and bronze with the Too Faced. This is the Light Medium Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. And I'm just using the Wet n Wild powder brush. This tastes so good. I always bronze down the neck just to make sure I'm not just like a white canvas with nothing. Going in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, we're going to go ahead and use the middle shade, which is Shadow Play. And I'm just taking the e.l.f. powder brush. Taking the RCMA Loose powder. I think I said that wrong. But the RCMA powder, we're just going to be carving out our cheekbones. I'm sure y'all can guess what blush I'm going to use. It's the Morphe Pop of Pink. But we're going to go ahead and use Spirit, which we have not used before. Whoa, that is really pigmented. Woo! So I'm just checking up on these shadows, and I don't see any fading, patchiness, nothing. The red one that we were having a little bit of issues with, it's staying on. Everything is looking pretty good, and I'm going to apply a tiny bit of blush on my nose. I'm going to go ahead and dust away the excess powder. I don't want to leave it on for too long. BELLEJORDEN has the most amazing cheekbones. I dream I will magically wake up with those cheekbones one day. I have way too much blush on. I was looking in the viewfinder and not the mirror. Now that I look in the mirror, I'm like, ugh, I look like a clown. Taking the Wet n Wild highlighter in Lilac to Reality, we're going to go ahead and take the Real Techniques setting brush. We're going to apply this to the cheeks. I thought this would be a really fun play on the Miami shade. Dang it! I put that right over my pores. Excuse me, don't do that. Go ahead and pop this on the chin. I mean, we're taking it there. And I'm going to take the Morphe M501 and we're going to go in with the shade Glow Baby. And I'm just going to kind of mix that in with that violet shade. Yes, that looks so pretty. Oh my god. Oh, this is so pretty for a highlight. I cannot even. For now, I'm going to take this tiny Morphe brush with the shade 13 and we're just going to start dragging that along the lower lash line. Next, we'll go in with the Morphe M507 and the shade So Cute. We're going to take a tiny bit of black, a very small amount, on this outer portion right here. Taking So Cute again, I want this to really stand on its own, so we're going to drag this pretty low. Okay, I think putting black down there was the best call, so we're going to go ahead and blend out that black liner. Go ahead and apply mascara. I'm just using the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara. I went ahead and applied the Rouge and Rogue Miss Fury lashes. We're going to go into the shade Glow Baby. Shimmer looks more glittery in the pan than the other shimmer shades, so I'm just going to pop this on the inner corner. I've noticed I don't really like the shimmers with a brush. I like them with a finger, besides the Miami shade. Okay, so if you watch Belle's channel, she always uses chunky glitter. So I got these little heart glitters from Dolls Kill. I think it was like $5. I think I'm going to put them right here. Like that. Oh, and how I'm applying these is I'm just grabbing it like this and applying lash glue on it and then sticking it on. I hope this is a good choice, but I want to place it right here. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I think that's cute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you these lipsticks. I don't want to use this for the tutorial just because I'd rather go for something more dramatic, but I'm going to go ahead and swatch these and show you them. Okay, well, I will go ahead and apply Wishes just so you guys can see it on, and then I am going to change the lip color to something else. The doe foot applicator is a little bit too flimsy in my opinion. That's not really Belle's call though, that's the brand's. But I feel like it makes it a little bit difficult to get it exactly where you're wanting it. I'm actually surprised Belle didn't do a more grungy gray tone with the more peachy nude, because I feel like she always goes in with that. So that's one thing I wish I would have seen in this lip duo. While we let this dry, I am going to go ahead and add some freckles. I'm just using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Blonde. If you're someone that has a ton of pores, this is a really good way to cover those up. Okay, the lip is dry. As you can see, it's a little bit sticky. It sticks together. I can't feel it as I'm talking, but if I'm going to rub my lips together, I can feel it. It kind of reminds me of the... I'm spacing it. Hold, please. Oh, it kind of reminds me of the Maybelline liquid lipsticks after they're dry. But mixed with like the Wet n Wild lipstick, like those two combined. I don't know if that helps you. So I just want to show you, I've been trying to get this off for a while and it is not coming off. It's really hard to get off. And while I was trying to get them off, I figured I should show you the gloss real quick. Doesn't break the formula for anything. It looks pretty. Again, I just don't like the doe foot applicator. That's pretty. Holy cow, I have never had a lipstick be that hard to get off. Like, no joke. And a lip gloss. We're just gonna move on. I'm gonna put on the shade Aussie from Kat Von D, because I think it's gonna go really well with the Vice eyeshadow. We're going to go ahead and brush our eyebrows straight up with the e.l.f. Brow Gel. I'm going to go ahead and spray the skin with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Alright guys, this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and mini review. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to kick up that makeup.